as you all know, and a number of you have commented, the Howard County Public Schools are rated quite highly. Yet we do have some schools that on assessments don't perform equally among each other within the county. And we'd like to ask how you would propose to improve those schools and what strategies you would use with schools who are not doing quite as well and unequally within the county. Mr. Proudfoot.
I believe you need to start with data and look at those school improvement plans and pinpoint the areas, the specific areas that the school is falling short. Could be in a subgroup of students, it could be in a grade level students, but that's where we start. And then we believe in specific medicine for that problem. What can we put in place as an intervention for that problem? I strongly believe in professional development, getting our teachers and support staff the training that they need to meet the school population with success. I'm not saying bring in an outside consultant, but we need to look within our teacher leaders and empower them to share best practices within the school, share techniques that engage students and get them excited about learning so that those students can become active learners and can have an investment in their learning so that they are more engaged and more willing to succeed in the classroom.
Ms. French.
Our staff is doing a lot in this area. In analyzing the data, we have found that the students who receive free and reduced meals are the ones who need the greatest assistance. We've been very successful with most of our students achieving the No Child Left Behind standards and the Bridge to Excellence standards that were set up in 2003 and that are increased now through Race to the Top and the Standard Core. Boy, that goes fast. The core standards. But one thing that we finally are able to let the principals know who are the students who receive free and reduced meals. Before that was confidential. Now they can identify and privately work to assist those children, make sure they get the targeted programs. Last year, staff identified 8th graders moving into 9th who needed help, and after 1 year, they have improved significantly, and 70% have passed the reading MSA.
Great.
HSA.
Mr. Ballinger.
English.
As a board member, I think one of the best ways of looking at trying to meet the challenges is to be involved. If I'm fortunate to be elected as a Howard County School Board member, I want to be involved in the process. I think we need to make sure that our teachers and our parents and the educators together are able to work to come up with a quality plan for improvement. In many ways, in the last year and a half, I think we've been questioned on that. And as a board member, I think that you need to be there. You need to be there to hear the concerns of the parent. You need to trust the education and the professionalism of the teacher to guide you in the best ways of doing it. We have a great staff, but I also think allowing the individuals who are in the classrooms to be able to give their opinions and their assistance and weigh their project and how they can achieve it as strongly as a central office or as a textbook can tell you.
Okay, Mr. Walker.
As the first Howard County and State of Maryland Parent Involvement Award winner, I believe that it's absolutely critical for parents and community to be involved in the process of what goes on at the school, along with the administration and the staff in the school. I believe it's important for us to look at engaging parents in the process to help parents understand how they can advocate for their children. I believe it's important for us to look at some of the risk factors to provide communications between students as they transition from elementary to middle school and from middle school to high school so that those students with needs and services don't get lost in the process. I believe it's also important for the parents in the community, and as a member of the board, I would encourage a collaboration there that sets high, rigorous, relentless focus on achievement and holds our school board and our school system accountable for making sure that all of our children learn.
Okay. Mr. Michigan.
You know, I think oftentimes we look at data merely for the purposes of accountability, But I read this great article in the Washington Post the other day that talked about using that data for the purposes of sustainability and really having continuous improvement. And I think oftentimes we define success based upon standardized test scores and the improvement or a reduction in those standardized test scores, and that's wrong, because no one's successful in life taking standardized tests. It's a poor definition of success. I think we can look at, Marcelino was saying, it's some longitudinal data, but it's not necessarily rocket science. In Montgomery County, they've come up with what they call the 7 keys to college readiness, and there's 7 specific metrics they've looked at based upon a child's ability to read in K through 2, their performance on certain test scores, certain subjects, and how they perform. And they've been able to define those and figure out ways and programs to target students to perform to the level that they've been able to correlate with data. I think we can look around at some of the best practices that are happening not only here in Maryland, but across the nation as well as throughout the world, and make sure that we're giving our kids the best course to success.
Any other response? Ms. Vallencourt.
I think that the greatest thing that we could do would be to get out of the way of good things that are happening in our schools. As an example, the Cradle Rock parents group who was doing Saturday resource hours where kids who do not have computers and pencils and paper and crayons at home were able to come to school and complete projects that they were unable to complete outside of school. The buddy tutoring that they had going. They have these great programs that are working really well, and instead of getting in their way by saying we can't have enough classrooms open for you to have enough seats to fill the demand for these kids who are clamoring for this extra attention, we should be providing that. The top elementary school in the state is in Garrett County, has 80%, I believe it is, free and reduced meal kids. Now it also only has, you know, less than 100 students, but it is proof that what we really need to do is pay attention to what goes on at the very fundamental level of educating children.